Good late Monday. Now it is Tuesday, December 21st, 2021. How's everybody out there? Here's what's going on. You know how it is. Another loss by the Jets to another loss to the Dolphins in a game that they quite frankly pissed away. Yesterday, there was... I can't even fathom how there's no excuse for this loss yesterday. Even a halfway decent defense. Even the defense from under Adam Gase would have probably won this game yesterday for the Jets. I really, this defense is probably the worst defense I think I've ever seen, of all the years I've watched this team. And I think it's just, I don't even know where to fathom. I can't, because but for those that want to think that it's about progress and not the final score, let's see. What did the Jets accomplish? Let's see. What did they accomplish? Let's see. It took them 14 games to get their first lead of double digits. It took them, let's see. So they had that, and that was also known as their largest lead of the year. Let's see. What else? We now know that Ashton Davis, for what he's worth, has two interceptions, both off the arm of Tua Tagovailoa, who, by the way, isn't that good. Let's get real. Tua Tagovailoa is terrible. I'm sorry. He stinks. He's not that good. I don't know how the Dolphins have a 6-game winning streak that theoretically the Jets should have stopped yesterday. And there were a number of things yesterday in this 31-24 loss that, I'm looking at this game and I said the Jets should have shut the game. The Jets should have, had this game in a runaway in the first half. Miami goes 3-and-out on their opening drive. The Jets go beautifully right down the field. Braxton Berrios, and I like Braxton Berrios, by the way. He's done a fantastic job. Gets a sweet play into the end zone from a couple of yards, 7-0 Jets. Ensuing drive, Tua gets picked off by Ashton Davis. I guess he's gotten over the whole Mac Hollins thing. And, the Jets only get 3 out of it, even though they got to if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if it was goal to go but they were close. But they settled for 3. And may I say, by the way, it looks like we finally have a kicker. Finally. It took us how long to figure that out? Let's see. And off the next drive, right? Tua throws it, and he once again throws it into traffic. It gets tipped up in the air, and so I don't know if it was Bryce Hall or somebody. It hit them hard. If they get their hands on that for an interception, they might theoretically take that to the house. Now imagine if you have all of that. You're looking at 17-0 in the first quarter, and you're like, what the heck is going on here? But then when they don't convert those things, and then it makes you scratch. It makes you scratch. And then with the Jets up 10-0, I think it was off their next thing, they give it back to Miami. So, and then what's his face? Pinnock, whoever you say his name is, who made a big bonehead play the first time we played Miami. Made another bonehead play with a fair catch interference penalty. The guy in Miami is clearly signaling a fair catch. Nails him. Nails him, and instead of Miami starting on the 17, they start on the 32-yard line. And, does it matter? But 17 or 32, does it matter when it's the Jets and this horrendous defense? Does it really matter? Excuse. I'm watching this team, and then you only could sit there and say, how long is this really going to last? Is this going to last how long is this lead of ours really going to last? You're sitting there. It was nice while this lasted. It was, they played their best quarter, one of the best quarters of football, and it just becomes so unglued, And I'm not going to exonerate Zach Wilson, because Zach Wilson, had a decent first half. But once again, this is another game where the Jets, show up for one half on offense, and in the other half, pick your poison first half or second half in any of these games this year where they don't play, where they don't show up to play, and then they're playing catch up, or they just don't produce. It's happened a number of times this year. Yesterday was no different. First half, they're doing great. Second half, they can't get a thing. And then Miami's defense went and swallowed them up, and they got shut out in the second half. The only points came on a Brandon Eccles pick six, first interception of his career, and the rare turnovers that the Jets forced. Something you can count on your hands of how many they have right now. So, but there's progress. Oh yes, there's progress. Progress everywhere. But at the end of the day, it's about the final score. So despite everything, Dolphins 31, Jets 24, in a game that the Jets twice had a double-digit lead. And you knew the big thing about this game, and this is a testament to the Jet defense. The Miami Dolphins, right? Second worst rush offense in the league. They average 81 yards a game on the ground. Oh, I'm sorry. They gashed the Jets yesterday for 183 yards. Duke Johnson, journeyman, 108 yards. He just gashed the Jets. The Jets' inability to wrap up on contact. That's what they didn't do. The Dolphins were getting extra yards after extra yards. Every time it looked like the Jets had them grounded for a loss or a minimal gain, no, Miami's going and they're getting 7-8 yards, if not more. The third down woes continued. Just everything that could have possibly gone wrong after that first quarter went wrong, and it bit them. No discipline. And they couldn't get to Tua. They could not. Tua Tagovailoa, mediocre. How is Miami with that offense doesn't emphasize the run game? How do they go from 1-7 to 7-7? How? They're not that. I mean, their defensive side of the ball, they're really good defensively. I'm not going to take that away, but my goodness, they own us. They own us. And it's like the Mets and the Marlins. It figures. There's always that team that's a thorn. And this isn't the Dolphins of Dan Marino era. No, that's not it. No, this is so different. Tua Tagovailoa, a southpaw. Not that good. He just runs. He doesn't really throw much. Come on. Come on, Jetsies. Come on. You should have intercepted him at least 3 or 4 times yesterday. I just don't understand. Why? And then, like I said, it was only going to be a matter of time before they lose the lead. They do. But anyway, whatever. Now, let's get to the pretty boy. Once again, he starts off fantastic. Again. After that, he's nowhere to be found. I mean, what did he finish, 180 yards or something like that? I mean, the offensive line, no protection. I mean, they missed George Fenton yesterday, so it was Connor McGovern, who's just god dread awful terrible, and he was getting beaten by Drummond that second half. He was getting beaten all over the place. Now, I mean, he's worse than Mekhi Becton when he's beaten up, and Mekhi Becton we haven't seen all year since week 1. But man, it could have kept Miami in check, getting to Wilson all over the place in that second half, forcing a key fumble with the Jets driving. All of that. And it just... and then the fourth quarter, like I said, it was nice of Brandon Eccles to make that big play. He made that nice big play, tying the game at 24. But then, just like that, bing, bang, boom, Myles Gaskin gets a big 30-yard run, and they're just gashing the Jet defense. They're gashing them, and they're finally cultivating Devontae Parker's in the end zone past Bryce Hall, cutting in on him in the end zone. But then, trying to drive and tie the game, you know, when Robert Sala's coaching comes into question, he does it right. The Jets get one last chance. But what I don't understand, they start on 1st and 10, and then said Connor McGovern gets called for a holding penalty, Dak 20 yards, and then they just, from there, it was just, yeah. You knew right then and there dead. And then with the game on the line, 4th down and 10. And then you decide, and then, like, I don't know what's that. Why is he even tempting to throw underneath? Why? Like, underneath, like, he finds, who was it, Keelan Cole in the corner? No, it was Cole or it was Crowder. I forget which one it was. And he gets a yard short, and, he falls down. They fall down, whoever it was, falls down and catches the ball, and they're a good yard or two short of the first down. Game over. Like, what kind of nonsense was that? Like, a game, the second time the Jets played the Dolphins this year, and the second time that the Jets pissed it away. That they should have won. Easily should have won. For a team that's 3-11, I'm not saying being 5-9 would have made a big difference right now. Maybe in the draft order. But all else, like, it's like, give me a break. But we saw progress. Right? This fan looks at progress as outscoring the other team. Yeah, little things. Yeah, great. They're not moral victories. They may be moral victories, but it's not a victory on the scoreboard. I'm more about statistics, like the fact that we're living, the fact that the team that I love so much is 3-11. The team that all of us Jet fans have watched crap out year after year after year after year. The Jet team that has, lived in the cellar for the last 6 years. The Jets that have lived, the constant failures, the constant changing coaching staff, the cellar dwelling, just, non-competitive, trash that we invest 3 hours of our time with, because you know why? Because for me personally, watching the Jets is just like, it's just going back to the girl who keeps giving you the same old crap over and over and over, but then you just can't stop. It's like Steve Urkel and Laura. Steve Urkel just like never ever giving up hope on Laura Winslow. That's what it is. Just never ever giving up hope, and just keeps coming back for more, even if it means more heartache. That is exactly what being a Jet fan is. And you know what? Because I'm a Jet fan and I'm an idiot, okay? Rooting for this incompetence, I'll be back on Sunday, like everybody else. And for once, I know Sunday is the day after Christmas, but I don't think many people are going to be flocking up from Florida to watch the even worse Jacksonville Jaguar team play the Jets. I mean, as we've seen the last how many years, we've seen visiting teams come in and just invade MetLife Stadium. Are the Jaguars that? I mean, the Jaguars right now are in a worse situation than the Jets are. Being they just fired Urban Meyer, and they're just a completely bad football team. I mean, they got slaughtered by the Texans, just as bad as they are. I mean, do you think the Jets will finally actually show up and actually win this game? I mean, at the best, this will be the last game that they win, should they win on Sunday. Because they're not beating Tampa Bay, and they're not beating Buffalo. Tom Brady loves beating up the Jets, and then Buffalo's going to be probably playing to get into the playoffs when we see them. So, what does it matter? You want to win a game and finish 4-13? That's going to be probably at the best the Jets will finish. Another disaster 4-win season. And then I look at teams like the Tennessee Titans and the Cincinnati Bengals. They're going to be wondering themselves, how did we lose to this crap? Especially the Bengals, who I remember that game. They were up 31-20 in the fourth quarter, the Jets, in that game. How did they lose to this? And they're in a first place tie with whatchamacallit? With who is it? Baltimore and Baltimore. the Bengals, losing games they shouldn't. The Jets was one of them. So, goes to show you. Anyway, the only, the only should-have team the Jets have beaten in this was Houston, because Houston's that pathetic. But outside of that, Tennessee and Cincinnati, like, we lost to this. Anyone can have their day, but just remember something else. The Jets' 3 wins have all come by 1 score or less. So, actually, they've all come by 1 score. We're not going to score less. They've all come by 1 score. 3 points, 3 points, and 7 points. Goes to show you. Anyway. So, another... I'm not going to go further into it, but, again, another winnable game for the Jets. Lost. And now that is how many losses in a row against the division? Because when's the last time the Jets won in the division? Was it the Miami game 2 years ago at the Meadowlands where you could challenge pass interference? And yeah, it was that game, the challenge pass interference late in the game. The Jets kicked the winning field goal with no time on the clock. If I'm not mistaken, that is the last time the Jets have won a divisional game, 2019. And it looks like we're going to go 0-6 against the division for the 2nd straight year. So, Buffalo, the only hope. Yeah, they're not beating Buffalo. When you have a team as incompetent as this, and it's sad because you look at it and you see the potential, but then you just but it's a young and it's an experienced team. It's the frustration of losing each and every single week. Forget the young, forget the growing pains, forget everything else. We just want to win. That's all we want. It's like if for a fact they're going to, we're just going to wallow and accept the fact that, we're a 3-4 win team. Well, if you think that way, you know what the mentality is? Don't watch. Don't come in this mentality of, we're going to, it's just innocent, we're going to lose. Let's just keep losing. Right? I like to go into games, even if I'm a pessimist, at least, I root to win. I don't go to evaluate. I don't do any of that. I want to win. I care I care the most about the final score. It's plain as simple as that. The final score is what tells everything. Progress, okay. But what matters is the final score. So we could say certain guys made progress and did all of that. Guess what? We lost 31-24 yesterday in a game that was winnable. The season's over. Yeah, we know. But still. That being said, I don't got much else to say. I said what I could about the game. I'm sure I should have said more, but I was driving, so I know it's probably I shouldn't have been, but trust me, I was on the road, looking at the road. But this is the time I had to do it. Anyway, that being said, Jacksonville next week. Hopefully we can just get a win, because if we do, it'll be the last game we win all year in all likelihood. And even though they'll probably get slaughtered by Tampa Bay or Buffalo, I'll still watch anyway, because at the end of the day, it's called being a fan. It sucks to sit there and say, it's okay, Johnny, we'll get them next time. It's okay, Zachy, we'll get him next time. Unfortunately, as Jet fans, that's just what it's come to. Just have to sit there and just say, it's like being the worst kid on a team, and you're there cheering and going, rah, rah, rah. That's what it feels like. That is really what it feels like right now. But when you invest all these years into this, it's like, what more? It just sucks. Losing sucks. It's like a tradition that it's going to be a long time before we break away from it. It's just what it is. That being said, I'm going to sign off for now. Deuces, everyone. Have a good evening. This is a little long. Dang, almost 20 minutes. Hello. All right. Peace out, everybody.